Hi everyone and welcome to Biology Professor. Before we get started today, I want to tell you that you can find a PDF of the final board with all of the blanks filled in and all of the study notes added. If you look in the description, there's going to be a URL that will take you to a drive where you can freely access all of the different board notes from my study videos. So check that out and remember to subscribe to Biology Professor. Now let's get on to today's topic, and that is regarding the pathogenesis of atherosclerosis. So messed that one up. Atherosclerosis, it's a hard one to say. I'm going to be talking about all of the different parts of how it comes about, focusing on some of the things you see up here in the title. So LDL oxidation, macrophage scavenger receptors, foam cells, the formation of the plaques, and so on. So on the left-hand side over here, I'll be filling in these blanks as we go through, and I'll be showing you kind of where in this process we are as we go. So let's get started. So first, let's talk about this hard word that even I struggled to say, atherosclerosis. What does this mean? This is when you get lipid-based plaques that cause arteries to narrow and harden. So basically something like that right there. So going on to the pathogenesis, we're going to look at all of these different steps. So let's just start with the first one. We've got arterial endothelial cells become damaged. And so right here, we're looking at this. Within an artery, we've got the lumen. This is where like the red blood cells are. We've also got some LDL and some monocytes. And there's some kind of damage done to this endothelial layer. And so there are numerous causes for this. Hypercholesterolemia, or too much cholesterol sort of chronically in the blood, can cause it. So can hyperglycemia, chronically high blood sugar, smoking, hypertension, that's the high blood pressure. These are all different things that can cause damage and then dysfunction to this layer of endothelial cells. Now, when this damage happened, these cells where the damage has occurred can also start releasing free radicals, basically like reactive oxygen species. Remember that reactive oxygen species includes free radicals and also some other types of things like peroxides and so on. So the reactive oxygen species get produced because of that damage or following that damage. Then this damage means that the arterial walls become more permeable to LDL. Remember, that's low density lipoprotein. This is a specific way in which cholesterol is moved through the body. And so we've got our LDL particles, I've drawn them here in green, going through the bloodstream. And so this damage makes the arterial walls more permeable to LDL, allowing the LDL to actually go across the endothelium into the tissue on the other side of the endothelial layer. And this tissue is called the tunica intima. So you get LDL increasing in concentration because of the damage to the endothelial cells. Then you've got adhesins on the damaged endothelial cells capture monocytes. So I'm going to kind of draw basically some like a receptor right there. You've got an adhesin protein that will capture a circulating monocyte. Remember that a monocyte is a type of white blood cell. It's part of the immune system. So the receptor, the adhesin, I'm going to underline that right there, adhesins on the damaged endothelial cells will capture the monocytes, and this will increase their sort of movement, their migration into the tunica intima. Now, when the monocytes enter the tissue, the tunica intima, they are then going to develop into something called macrophages. So monocytes are the ones circulating in the blood, and then when they enter a specific tissue, they are stimulated to develop into macrophages. So we got the monocyte moves in, and now it's a macrophage. And they are also going to be producing free radicals. So some of these reactive oxygen species. So we already had reactive oxygen species, free radicals, being produced by the damaged endothelial cells, and now they're being produced by these macrophages as well. Now, these free radicals that are being produced, they will oxidize LDL. So right here, when the LDL is oxidized by these free radicals that are coming either from the damaged endothelial cells or from the macrophages, I started drawing the oxidized LDL in red. So the concentration of oxidized LDL is also increasing in the tunica intima. And this has the unfortunate side effect of attracting even more monocytes. Basically, you've got even more monocytes that, because of the increase in oxidized LDL here, you've got even more monocytes that are going to come right down here. Let me grab my purple marker and I'll draw another of these macrophages. So this is a kind of basically positive feedback loop. We might also call it a vicious cycle, right? This is not the kind of positive feedback loop you want to happen. Remember that positive feedback loop just means that the signal basically keeps moving further and further away from homeostasis. So there's these signals, and you have more and more and more activity and problems cropping up. I also want to mention just that the movement of the monocytes into the tissue, I'm going to put this in parentheses here, is through a process called diapedesis. That's just the process through which they kind of flatten and move through the small space to get into the tissues. The signaling that encourages this behavior is the chemokine signaling. So basically, the more you have oxidized LDL down here, the more you have macrophages secreting chemokines, the more you have more monocytes that are going to be coming in and turning into macrophages and secreting more chemokines to attract more monocytes. And so that's that positive feedback loop. Now these macrophages, once they get down here into the tunica intima, I'm going to draw some receptors on this new one here. They've got these receptors that I've drawn in black here. These receptors are called macrophage scavenger receptors. And they allow the macrophages to engulf the oxidized LDL. Now, these are not normal LDL receptors. These are specifically for the oxidized LDL. And so they're called the macrophage scavenger receptors. And what you end up getting is that these macrophages, they engulf so much of this oxidized LDL that they really increase in size, and they start to have a foamy appearance. And we call these foam cells because of that foamy appearance. And so that is what the macrophages turn into. They engulf the oxidized LDLs using their scavenger receptors, and that turns them into foam cells. Another name for the foam cells is lipid-laden macrophages. Sometimes you hear that term instead. Now, ultimately, you get a lot of foam cells, lots and lots of foam cells. It's because so many monocytes have crossed over into the tunica intima, and they have engulfed so much of this oxidized LDL. You've got lots and lots of foam cells. So they're building up, excuse me, and they're also bursting. So just spewing their guts out, basically, into the tissue. And so this buildup and bursting of the foam cells increases that reactive oxygen species. Remember, that's the ROS. I'm going to put that in parentheses right here, ROS. Increases the reactive oxygen species that are floating around here. And what does that do? That just oxidizes even more LDL, okay? So it's just this really unfortunate, kind of damaging positive feedback loop. That also results in other inflammatory particles coming in. It also stimulates migration and proliferation of smooth muscle cells. And where are these coming from? Underneath the tunica intima, remember you've got the lumen out here, there's the endothelium. This is all happening in the tunica intima, and then in another layer below that, you've got something called the tunica media, and you've got some smooth muscle cells there. And they can actually migrate up into the tunica intima and then proliferate there, so make more of themselves, divide and reproduce. And the result of all of these steps, of all of that buildup and breakdown of foam cells, the migration and proliferation of the smooth muscle cells, is you go from what was originally a healthy artery that sustained some kind of damage, and through the activity of those foam cells and the smooth muscle cells moving in, you get the production of a plaque. And the plaque itself can then cause other issues. You know, it can form a blood clot, embolism, heart attack, stroke, and so on. All of these different kinds of health issues can be caused, they start off as plaques, just like that one. And then, of course, I also don't want to forget to mention the inflammation, that there's lots of inflammation in this process as well, which can have other systemic types of symptoms. Before we conclude, I want to remind you that I've got some other study videos on related topics. We've talked a lot about macrophages in this video. Macrophages are really known for phagocytosis, so if you want to learn about the steps of phagocytosis, I've got a video on that. And then if you want to learn how pathogens can actually evade macrophages, some of them even being able to replicate in macrophages, which would normally kill them, and instead they're replicating inside, then I've got another video on that process as well. So check those out. Remember to hit subscribe. And thank you very much for watching Biology Professor. Don't forget that you can grab a PDF of the board notes at the link below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.